Where were you?
Alysanne came to Dragonstone. She will open the gates of the Red Keep and surrender to me.
You cannot trust her. The king has abdicated the throne.
A new dawn is coming. A new line of unsullied kings.
You are the Queen of Dragons. You have an absolute power within your grasp.
Soon or late, Rhaenyra will send her new dragons here. It would be the end.
This is the moment you become queen.
How's it going, you guys, and welcome back to another video. So I have thoughts about the new House of the Dragon teaser trailer, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really going to do a scene by scene breakdown. Many other people have done that. I know I'm definitely going to do that for the official trailer. Like, I know I will do that then. I also want to apologize for the lack of formal videos on my account. Life has just been lifing, but with the new trailer for House of the Dragon Season 3, I feel kind of, how do I put this to words? I don't know how to feel. When I say I don't know how to feel, I mean that this show is basically a fan fiction created by Ryan and Sarah. With George R. R. Martin's Not a Blog coming out, he basically, as you guys know, told about how his relationship with Ryan broke down because Ryan thought that he could do things better than George R. R. Martin, and has just basically made this show that could have been great. Like, this honestly could have been one of the greatest shows HBO has ever produced because of the great ensemble, because of the plot that it should be based on. But Ryan and Sarah, like I said, have turned it into their own personal fan fiction, and it's getting really hard, honestly, to get excited for things like this. And I already know I'm gonna have people be like, well, if you don't care or if you don't like it, why are you watching it? Because I'm a Song of Ice and Fire fan. Like, I don't like hate watching shows. I feel like hate watching shows kind of defeats the purpose of certain media. But because I love so many of the actors, because I love George R. R. Martin, I do want to support this show. My problem comes from not knowing how to feel. And when I say I don't know how I feel, as I mentioned before, like, this is basically a fan fiction. At this point, I don't even know what the plot is anymore. Like, it gets to a point where you can think that you predict what is going to happen, and it's not going to happen. I'm gonna be honest, season 2 was a nothing burger to me. Like, it legit was a nothing burger with how just ridiculous some of the things that happened. And while it hit several like key moments, you know, like Rhaenyra's death, the reaction of Blood and Cheese, other than that, I'm gonna be fully honest, I don't know what's going on anymore. You know, and it mostly has to come with, like I said, Ryan and Sarah making this their personal fan fiction and their own statement to the Song of Ice and World, which is basically what Dan and Dave did as well with the final seasons of the original Game of Thrones. And it gets to a point where it's like, why are you guys adapting these media? Why are you guys acquiring the rights to these shows if you don't want to adapt them the way that they should? And when I say like the way that they should, there is a good and bad way to adapt things. Like, when I say also that, I mainly mean that, like, you should respect the work that you're adapting. You should respect the author that you're adapting, unless the author is problematic, because there are several problematic authors out there who, in my opinion, their work is absolutely terrible and should not be adapted, yet it is still being adapted. And the writers are the only thing that's saving that franchise, you know? But when it comes to something like this, where they can't make the excuse that Dan and Dave were very vocal about, being like, oh, we don't know what's going next, we don't know what the story is really about. George R. R. Martin is clear about what the dance is about. It is about a woman, Rhaenyra, literally losing everything, all because she is a woman. She loses everything. She ends up becoming very paranoid. She ends up fighting and sadly losing her life because the powers that be, the misogynistic systems, do not want a woman to hold any actual political power. Like, that's the meaning of the dance. Like, there's a bunch of other, you know, side meanings, but at the end of the day, that is what it's about. And Sam and Ryan and Sarah have basically taken that message, which I said is a very strong message, that if it was adapted correctly, would have been like Emmy and Oscar worthy. Instead, they've turned into their own personal fan fiction on how they believe how these type of situations should be handled, and changed timelines and erased characters. And it's like, I remember in the beginning when they were going on and on about like, oh, our adaptation is supposed to be the true meaning of the dance. Like, this is going to be the true meaning of the dance. Look at where we are. They have, like I said, they have erased several characters, several important scenes, added nonsensical characters, taken away motivations, added strange motivations, changed ages and all that. It's just a kerfuffle. It's just a kerfuffle. They could have made a story about a woman who sadly, from the get-go, was set up to fail from the time she was 8. Sadly, she was set up to fail from the time she was 8. Because her stepmother, Alysanne, wanted power and she wanted her blood on the throne. They could have shown that. Like, also, my beef goes all the way back to season 1. Like, you guys know I'm very vocal on how season 1, in my opinion, should have been at least 2 seasons. Season 1 should have been at least 2 seasons. But because they wanted to hurry up and get to the adults, they sped through season 1. Like, they sped through the first half of season 1. Like, we hardly got to know any of the younger characters in season 1, and now we're stuck with this. And when I say stuck with this, I mean like Sam, why do you even want to call him Sam? Ryan and Sarah. That's because Sarah is like one of the most terrible people out there. But Sarah and Ryan have made this their own personal fan fiction and are doing what they want, basically. Sad, because these are amazing actors. When I say that I could see Olivia Cook killing an Alysanne from the books, who is manipulative, who is very politically savvy, who is, you know, very ambitious and knows what she wants, and who is not making the same damn face every 5 seconds. Dear Jesus, let her show her range, because Olivia has fucking range, okay? She has some amazing range for the type of actress that she is, but she can't do that because freaking Ryan and Sarah want her to be in this perpetual victim state, when the actual victim of the dance is Rhaenyra, who can't even, like, oh my god, if I start ranting, this video is going to be probably 3 hours long. This video will probably be like 3 hours long if I start ranting, and I'm trying so hard not to, because that's how passionate I am about stuff like this. Blame the autism, I guess. And I'm trying to hold out some kind of hope for here's the thing, when I say hope, I don't believe this show is kind of maybe gonna win any of the major awards, which is sad because these actors are putting in their all for this. But I'm also terrified on how now they're going to stick the landing for because this is the 3rd season, right? We got 8 episodes this season. Next season is the final season. Next season, the final season. What are they going to do if they're acting like this? Like, at this point, they might as well change the ending. I hate to admit it, but they might as well change the ending, which sucks because it's like, why? Why? Let me stop ranting. I am deeply apologetic, you guys, that I also have not been posting as much as I said earlier. I have my review on A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms coming up. If you guys want to see me and my sibling Tony react to them, because we are reacting to them episode by episode, they're over my Patreon. Here is the information here, and link will also be down below. And if you guys want to get notified for whenever I post videos and continue to do my reactions. Oh, before I forget, I have a big surprise starting March 1st, which will actually be the subject of my next video. But thank you guys so much for listening to this short rant, and I will see you guys later. Bye.